Hey everyone, this is Karma Dragoness, and we're gonna be playing some Cocoron. It's a very cute game made by a lot of the same people who made Mega Man 2. And just as a little note, normally there would be quite a bit of flashing in this game, but thankfully Nova the Squirrel recently put out a patch to edit out the flashing, so I don't have to give a seizure warning. Hooray! So we're gonna be just, I'll go ahead and do a 3, 2, 1 countdown here. 3, 2, 1, go. So here's Tapir, definitely an absolutely friendly person, not going to betray us in the slightest. The story of this game is effectively that we are going to create the most beautiful dream and just have a nice little adventure. Nothing scary or terrifying whatsoever. So this first character that we're going to make is a ghost-headed dragon that throws shurikens. This character moves very quickly, it can fly, and most importantly, it destroys bosses. We'll be using this character for most of the run, but there will be 2 other characters that we create that will put in quite a bit of work as well. First boss here, the stages can be very short depending on the order you go through. More on that a little bit later. We have a pirate ship coming up here. And for the most part, most of the strategy for defeating bosses is to just fly up in their face and start spamming shurikens. That doesn't change until near the end. So next up, Tapir is happy with the pirate ship we've just destroyed and is going to ask us to make another character. So we already have a lightish weight, fast character that throws shurikens, but what if we had an even lighter character that didn't ever have to fight? Introducing Happy Quacky, who is a very good friend. Just look at them blinking at you like this. We will be using them later on stages where we don't have to fight, but we do want to move fast. So you may have noticed that I actually get a chance to select the stage that I'm going into. Depending on where you're going to and from, it actually affects the stage itself that you play. Like, the stage itself forms between the 2 different locations that you're, like, going from and to. So there's a ton of different stages in this game. The one that happens to be the fastest, or the route that happens to be the fastest, is just going around the outside in a circle. Carefully climbing some stairs here, make our way up, and we're gonna fight our second boss here. It turns out the king of this castle has been trapped by the Joker, so we're gonna go rescue him, but we first need to fight the spades. Thankfully not an entire deck of cards. So the way this fight works is that each card will pop up onto screen after every spade from the last card is gone. So mostly right now we're focused on destroying the last spade as soon as possible of each card. It's always in the same pattern, so once you get used to it, you'll never have to relearn it unless you, like, forget it, but yeah, it's not random. So coming up here after 10, we have the jacks. They each take 3 hits, the queens, 3 hits themselves, and now here's the king trapped inside the Joker. And we're just gonna fly alongside it and spam shurikens. And just as a note, every time you hear that sound, like, after I defeat a boss, that is normally where you would have some very intense flashing with this game. and it's very intense. So just as a warning, if you do play this casually, either be prepared for that or get the anti-flashing patch. It is a pretty significant difference. Next character we're going to create is not Pumpkin Boat with Pencil, which is a fairly straightforward weapon. It's a very weak weapon, but that's all we need for the stage we're going to use it on. We're going to head up to Fire Ice Mountain next. This stage is really fun to speedrun, just because we're going to be ducking and weaving. And we're just going to carefully make our way through here. Kind of focusing a little bit here while I make these jumps. They're not that difficult, just as long as you have them practiced, but it is very easy to die on this stage if you slip up a bit. So here's Santa trapped in a block of ice. No, he's not the boss. We're actually going to be fighting the giant dragon that captured him! Oh wait, it's just a smaller dragon inside of a giant dragon ice sculpture. So first we need to break open the ice, and then we're going to take a bunch of body checks from the dragon while spamming shurikens inside of him to finish the job. And so at this point, well, Santa's going to make that little dragon basically fulfill Rudolph's role from here on out. Tapir's going to ask us to make some more characters here, but at this point, we actually don't need any of the other character slots, so we're just gonna make the fastest characters we can. We only need the first 3 slots. Our in-game time is 2:57, which is actually on pace for world record, but I've been slowing down in some of the menus to explain things, so real time would not be. This stage right here, I think, very well showcases what the heck Cocoron is. This screen here with all of the flying elephants, the eclairs that you have to jump off, the pink whales in the background. Yeah. Welcome to Cocoron. So our next boss is Harvest Moon, who will appear in one of 3 set locations. We're hoping for far left, but that's not what we got, and that's okay. The main thing with this boss is that you do not want to get hit by any of the stars that are flying around it. It's okay to get hit by them as soon as the stars shoot, but if you try and crash into them while the stars are still rotating around him, you will die. Next up, we're going to make another junk character. So the fastest way to do that is using the second hero head here, and the second hero body, and then a parasol, which is not a great run for the great weapon for the speed run. Gonna tap left once to head over to Fairy Forest. Oopsie, I did not mean to take that hit from the elephant. So as you can see here, the stars that spawn, if they hit the ground while they're on screen, they shoot off little stars off to the side that can cause quite a bit of lag and also be just a general nuisance. So we really want to minimize that by going fast and getting lucky, of course. It's actually RNG, one of the few little bits of RNG that this game does have. Interestingly enough, the tool-assisted speedrun takes the exact opposite route that the human route does. So those platforms that I fell down through, imagine trying to jump up those quickly and it's... yeah. This is absolutely the more human-friendly route. So here's Titania, and she's a pretty easy fight, but just need to be a little bit careful with her. She usually teleports once. I don't think it's humanly possible to one-cycle her, but somebody could prove me wrong. I'd love to see somebody prove me wrong on that. So, we've cleared all 5 zones, but, Tapir's still showing up and asking us to make another character. That's a bit strange. But alright. We'll go ahead and make a Ninja Spring here with Parasol again, because why not? And, well, here comes a fairy friend to tell us that Princess Rua has been kidnapped. Oh no. Oh, sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that yet. Princess Rua has been kidnapped! So at this point, we actually don't need to do any fighting. We need to find the egg that contains Princess Rua, which conveniently is between the Fairy Forest and the Milk Sea. It is always there, but you're meant to just kind of explore around and try and find out which stage transition she's in. So we're gonna take Happy Quacky here for a bit of a spin, and we don't need to fight anything, so we're just gonna keep smiling. And Happy Quacky's gonna get a bit of a run here, because we're gonna use them for the next 3 stages here. So, yeah. Princess Rua here tells us that our actual foe is Tapir, and he's only been helping us make this fantastical dream so that they could eat it. It's actually the Dream Eater Baku, if you are aware of that tale. So at this point, actually, all of your other characters get captured. So we grab each of these characters back one by one. And we're actually running through a gauntlet of 5 stages. If we die at any point during these 5 stages, we get sent back to the first stage that I just cleared a bit ago. And I actually might be dying here. Let's find out. Nope. Okay, 1 HP. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, sorry, that's not going to line up very well with the restream here. Thankfully, we're okay. The next stage that we're going to do here requires a bit of precise flying, and it's a bit of a casual nightmare. The one thing I will say is that in this stage that I'd call Arizona or Texas or Nevada, whatever you want to call it, if you stand on the flowers and stay stood on the flowers, you will be okay. They will not close on you until you jump off of them. So that's the last of Happy Quacky unless I die, which is a very real possibility in the next stage. We're going to be taking Pumpkin Boat for a spin. So each of these cacti do a lot of damage. I can only take 2 hits. Well, I can only take 1 hit, really, before the next hit kills me. But with the boat, we can just kind of float along the top, and we're okay. And that's the last of Pumpkin Boat. We literally just made Pumpkin Boat for that one stage. And at this point, we're going to be hopping back to Skolderg, which I should mention, Skolderg is just a stylistic choice for me. There's actually 3 heads for each body type, so if you were to pick up the speedrun, it wouldn't matter if you did the Skull, the Cyclops, or the Flame head from the Ghost family. Family? I guess that's the right word. Nothing too wacky about this stage, just a bit of walking, a bit of climbing. And I think that's actually also the biggest slope in the game that we get to go down as well. So we're almost in the clear in terms of checkpoints. All we have to do is fight the next boss here, which we're going to take Skolderg once more. And here's Tapir. We're going to actually be fighting Tapir twice. This fight is a little bit easier because instead of retaliating with 5 eggs, they only retaliate with 3. So off to the side is pretty much a guaranteed safe zone. Although Tapir is being very rude to me right now. You'll notice sometimes I'm getting double hits. Tapir goes into invincibility frames when they go to retaliate, but you can actually, if you time it right, you can sneak in 2 shurikens. So a lot of the speed run comes down to getting as many double hits as you can. We're going to climb up the slope here and go into the final stage, which is a bit of a longer stage, but it has super catchy tunes and some really cute enemies, so I really love this stage. So I hope you're ready for the cutest enemies in the game. Just look at them. They're so cute! I love them. They do 1 whole bar of damage, like 1 big bar, so it's very important to not get hit by them. Same with the little flames that are jumping off the candles. If they hit you, they do 1 big bar of health. So we want to make sure we make ourselves safe by shooting the candles. And since we haven't taken a hit, we can just go through that penguin, and it would have been okay if the penguin shot at us and hit us. Some more of the cute enemies and some tapir statues, and here we are at tapir number 2, who is just about the same as tapir 1, but shoots 5 eggs, which might not sound that threatening, but those extra 2 eggs really cut off a lot of options for you. And this game was actually in the Big 20, and I think just from what I heard from most of the runners after the Big 20, I think Tapir 2 here was what made them not want to continue. Timer stops when the music stops, which would be right now. So that's Cocoron. It is a really fun speed game and a really fun casual game. I highly recommend playing it either way. Yeah. I don't really have much more to add. Thank you for having me on BSB, and I'm looking forward to a weekend full of pretty cool games.